So, Power Book for Force recently came to an end this past weekend. We get the series finale, and so I just want to sit here, be able to talk about the series and review it as a whole. You know, Power Book for Force. That first season was a bit of a mess. It was a slog to get through. It was just a whole bunch of shit that was just happening left and right, designer drugs, and when it comes to TV shows, what I always tell people is that with TV shows, you're really investing yourself into the characters more so than anything because these are the people that you're going to be following on a week to week basis. And with Power Book for Force in that first season, none of the characters were interesting whatsoever. Hell, I'm gonna be honest with you. They try to play up the Tommy and Liliana dynamic as being something so great and Tommy be invested. I didn't even care about that dynamic at all because I didn't really like the actress that played Liliana and her performance and her just being at the forefront during this series. And she wasn't even that big of a deal in the OG Power series. Just, well, Tommy, you came here to finish the job. And it's just like seeing them team it together. It's like, yeah, it has its cute moments, but as a whole, I just did not care. And that was a major issue with that first season was that the storylines is just a messing all over the place, and you just truly were not able to invest in the characters. Now, season two came in. They had a change in showrunners, and Gary Linden, who was a co-showrunner on the OG Power series as well, he came in and he fixed some things with the series. And boy, oh boy, was that needed. Because season two is a vast improvement over season one. I really had a lot of fun and enjoyed season two so much. I still had a few problems here and there with like some directions and some character choices. But overall, man, it was just great to see, man, because I truly do love the character of Tommy Egan. But just having him just dropped in Chicago and he's just making these moves left and right and interacting with these characters. And it's like there was no true real feeling of stakes because you get introduced to some of these characters like the Flynn family, which I honestly think is probably the worst family in all the Power universe. They are so weak as characters. I still to this day don't really care about them. And just seeing Tommy go against characters like this, it's like when you watch the OG Power show, it's like we've seen Tommy face off against all these different types of drug lords, of mafia bosses, the FBI, the government. He's went up against them and they have not been able to beat Tommy. So it's like, are we really sitting there thinking like, oh, how is Tommy going to get his way out of this? How is it going to be him? It's like, no, we knew Tommy was going to win at the end of the day. It's just, how are you going to keep us invested and tuned in week by week? And season two, they found a way and had us interested by introducing characters like Miguel, introducing characters like Shanti, building out more depth in characters like Jannard, played tremendously by Chris Lofton, man. Shout out to Chris Lofton, one of my favorite new characters in the Power universe today. And then when you get to season three, man, they announced midway through filming that this was going to be the final season of the show. And you could tell everybody across the board, behind the camera, in front of the camera, they were locked in on making this season three, the best season of the show yet, and ending this series with a bang. And my oh my, did they absolutely accomplish that? Because season three of Force was truly one of the best seasons of Power out of the entire Power universe, in my opinion. It was so much fun. I was locked in and engaged because this is the most interesting the characters have been throughout the entire run of the show, especially with characters like Shanti, Jannard, once again by Chris Lofton, was just, he stood out this season of Power Book for Force. Like there is no Power Book for Force without the character of Jannard by Chris Lofton. And Chris Lofton, man, once again, he was the show Force. He truly was. It's Tommy's show, but Jannard was like the reasoning and like the anchor for making Force what it was, with just how just crazy that outlandish he was as a junkie character. And I had a whole lot of fun. And then you end off the season with the appearance of Tariq and then potentially setting up a Power Legacy sequel. And that shall be interesting to see how that turns out. I have my little reservations about that series as a whole, but we shall see how it turns out. But overall, with Force, they were locked in on season three. You could tell. And it's crazy that they end the show with a season of them truly finding out what this show really is and how this show was truly going to work. And they really did a great job with that. There were some lines of dialogue with it being a Power show because there are going to be some elements from the OG Power you're going to see. Some repeated storylines and elements from other shows. It's like you get that, but I'm engaged because I truly do like these characters. Like I like the performances from them, even though there's some spots and lines of dialogue to where it's like yeah. And then the chemistry between Tommy and Maria was a bit, yeah, I never really bought into their relationship at all, but it's there. But even with that, even though I'm not necessarily invested in their relationship, I like what they add with the Maria character for Tommy, and Tommy now becoming a father and him having actually something to lose. Because when you really sit there and you watch the OG Power show, Tommy was operating like a man who didn't really have much to lose because he's faced some losses. Like he lost Holly once before. He lost his own father. He lost his ex girlfriend, Lakeisha, who gives a fuck. Um, but he's lost so much. But it's like the character Maria, she mentioned it and stated it perfectly about the character of Tommy. He's a character that's broken yet unbreakable at the same time because we've seen just all the tremendous heartbreak, the losses that he's faced. But he's faced so much, he knows how to just manage it all and just keep pushing at the end of the day, even though we see a broken man, yet he's unbreakable at the same time due to all the losses he's faced. And just Sakura, he just truly knows and embodies the character of Tommy Egan. And honestly, his performance as Tommy Egan is probably the best out of the entire Power universe because, with characters like Ghost, who may be the GOAT in my opinion, I could see other actors being able to pull off that character and bring it to life. With Tommy Egan and just Sakura's performance as Tommy, I literally cannot see anybody being able to pull off Tommy Egan and bringing that character to life the way he does, and us truly being invested and wanting to see more of this character and him, this gangster, live on through TV for years and years and years to come. So overall, with Power Book 4 Force, the show, it may have started off pretty weak with season one, but then it continually and gradually got better with seasons two and ended the series with a bang in season three with this best season to date. And even with this, in the totality of the entire Power universe, where Power Book 4 Force ranks, honestly, I have it above Power Book 2 Ghost now. And I originally had Power Book 4 Force as the weakest series in the Power universe. But after seeing seasons 4 and 2 of Book 2 Ghost, I honestly feel like it's definitely gone down a few levels from the performances, the storylines, the characters, and the decision making they had. This is easily the weakest of the spinoffs. And now you have Force right above it and right behind Raising Kanan. So Power Book for Force is a series that may have started off slow and uninteresting, but then continually got interesting as they figured the show out and end the show with a bang and a high note, teasing more to come in the future of the Power universe. And I'm just glad that we had this show because it started off slow, but it ended off with a bang